increase their awareness. And so they are here this morning. The campaign linked and style protect our vote. But in the meantime, the Liberian government last evening released this major press statement. And so let me just read this in the totality before we start our discussion. The government of Liberia has urged the media institutions in the country to continue to promote the culture of peace and unity as the nation prepares for the presidential runoff elections on Tuesday, November 14. In a statement issued on Monday, Information Minister Lecheho Durini cautioned the media to eschew anti-peace messages on their platforms, including threats of war, which he says have become the practice of some politicians to bolster the chances of their side. The MICAT boss said it was incumbent upon the media as one of the fundamental pillars of democracy to promote peace at all times while upholding the ethics of quality journalism. The Liberian media ought to give more attention to policy issues being touted by the parties and political contenders, Mr. Rainey stressed. He also called on the media to avoid the temptation of disseminating fake news and disinformation that often originate from social media platforms and create panic in the public, leading to violence or the loss of lives. The minister said the Liberian government is primarily focused on maintaining the country's hard-earned peace as it consolidates its democratic credentials. The upcoming election is only a contest to choose the president for the next 6 years and should not lead to chaos as some political actors have constantly preached on their campaign trails. Recounting President Weah's message to the Liberian media before the October 10 polls, the MACAT boss said the eyes of the world will be on Liberia and how Liberia is perceived and engaged after the runoff will depend largely on how the media reports. Signed, Lecheho George, Minister of Information. He released this strong press statement last evening on behalf of the Liberian government. So, like I said, we have our guests already here. Let's begin with them. They will introduce themselves, in fact, because I'm sure some of them have not come to studio before, but some then come into studio. So let's hear them themselves to introduce themselves. Oh, madam, how you doing?
Oreo, how you doing?
I'm okay, mama. You said it's Oreo. Okay, she sounds best Yanti. How you doing? How's everything with you?
Everything is fine with me. It's good to see you again. You know, the last time here I told the people, I can let you know me.
No, I know you very well. We worked together before.
Yes.
So the next person is a very good friend, Frank Morris, another presidential candidate. Good morning, sir.
It's Host Sobor George. Good
Yes,
morning.
sir.
How you doing this morning?
I'm okay, Chief.
I'm back here with you.
I know. We had a very, frank interview, exchanged very well the other day.
Very good one.
Very good one. Let me welcome the others.
Of course, I'm that. You're a society actor.
Okay.
It's my pleasure sharing your very friendly studio this morning.
Okay, you are a civil society actor. Okay, let's hear from you also.
Princess Dixon.
You say your name? Princess Dixon.
Yeah.
Okay. In what capacity you came? Civil society actor?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's also hear from you.
I'm Chuchu Wilson's.
Chuchu Wilson. A musician?
No.
Oh.
And then chairman making school to be precise.
Okay, that's good. And also?
I'm the Francis Dropon. Member of CEO.
Member of what?
CEO.
What's the CEO?
Exchange for Angel Ledger Opinions.
Okay. So we, gentlemen, you all are I welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure our first time interview some of you today, but the two presidential candidates will start the ball rolling. But in the meantime, before we get to your campaign, let me pose this question to the both of you. In October, and before then, you all did to campaign and all of that. You projected yourself as the best, in fact, to lead this country, to succeed President Weah. But that didn't happen. Sarah, let's hear from you. What went wrong?
I don't think it's about what went wrong. It's about what the Liberian people wanted. Liberian people voted, and they overwhelmingly decided that they wanted the two candidates that we see now in the runoff, and that's why we are here. We're here because we want to support us as Liberians to make sure that we all participate in our democracy and we all participate in a way that brings us out of all of this in peace. And I'm happy you read the statement before we started, because that statement I would like to thank the government for that statement, because it's important that we continue to emphasize the need for peace.
Okay. Mr. Frank Maris, my very good friend, what do you think went wrong? Because you were here on this platform. You said you were the best, in fact, that the Liberian people should choose.
You're still spelling my name. Robert Franz Morris.
Okay. Well, because I didn't put a Robert there. Frank Morris. Okay. Robert Frank Morris. Okay, go ahead. I don't want us to be power to the thing.
Well, I will echo what Honorable Besso Yati said. Nothing went wrong. If everything went right, that's the beauty of our democracy.
Okay.
Democracy is in action. There are many countries in this world
where
people like herself and myself do not even have the opportunity to be able to say that they're going to vie for office or run. There was an exchange of ideas, and we see the results, and we want to ensure that people can continue to exercise their franchise freely, fairly, and that's why we're here.
So on the overall, let me begin with you. What's your analysis of the October 10 election? Peaceful or not peaceful, transparent or not transparent? What's your analysis?
Well, it's happened, so it was clearly peaceful. We didn't see any violence, so it was peaceful. So my analysis of it, in terms of the peace aspect of it, was peaceful. I told you when I was here on many occasions, I said Liberians are our chicken egg. We got to hold it very, very well.
Okay,
and that's why we are here today, as a continuation of that. I told you, I said, regardless of what happens, we're going to remain engaged, because the what we are here for and what we started off for was for Liberia. Liberia first, Liberia second, Liberia last.
Good. Your analysis also.
My analysis is that the Liberian people win, because the Liberian people overwhelmingly got up and went to vote, and did so peacefully. I mean, from early in the morning, the lines were very long. People wanted to be a part of the democracy, and that's what we should be celebrating. Let's not pretend like it was perfect. It wasn't perfect, but that's not why we're here. We're not here to discuss, the issues that occurred, or the different irregularities and all of that. Observers' missions and others have been, reporting on those things, but we should be proud of ourselves as a people that we're able, for the first time since the UN peacekeeping mission left this country.
Yeah, surely.
It's the first time we were responsible for our own budget as a country. It's the first time we're doing this with our own security apparatus. It's the first time we've done this since the conflict. And we should be proud of ourselves for what we're able to do as a people. It takes more than just the government. It's all of us as a people who can say that, yes, we had peaceful elections on October 10, and we need to continue to learn about some of the challenges and so forth, so that we improve our electoral system.
Okay, now, so let's get into the reasons for which you all are here. The October 10 is behind us now, but we sought to just get your analysis on what you thought of the process, because you participated, very largely. Let's begin with you, Madam Sarah Besso Ianti. Tell us in detail, basically, about this whole campaign. Let's protect our vote.
So firstly, before I do that, I want to honor the four civil society colleagues here with us, because the two of us are, for candidates who participated in this election. The spotlight seems to be on us, but I want to really thank them, because this is, for me, this is a manifestation of what we want this to be, a citizens movement. So you have a diverse group of people here with us.
Okay.
You have Princess Dixon, who is called on the streets of Monrovia, she's called Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And the streets of Monrovia know her. You have Chuchu, who's a vendor from Mecklin Street. You have Francis, who's one of the key people at the Intellectual Center on Carey Street, and Dax Elliott, who leads the Carey Street Intellectual Center. Why are they here? They're here because this is not about politics. This is about the common Liberian man. This is about how we make sure that all Liberians participate in our democracy, not only just by voting, but by helping to make sure the voting process is improved and by strengthening our democracy. And so why are we here today? Protect LIB votes. Protect LIB votes is a movement that started initially as a political process. If you remember back, as far back as July, I came up with the concept of us coming together to protect the votes. And in August, we had meetings, we had dialogue, and August 28th, we signed an MOU to protect and safeguard the votes of the Liberian people. And I remember some parties were saying, protect and safeguard the votes of the opposition. And I changed it. I said, no, this is not about the opposition. It's not about a party. It's about the people. It's about the Liberian people. It's about how we make sure that when you get up in the morning to vote, that you go through a process that takes you all the way to the end of making sure your vote is counted. And then many things are happening along the way. So many barriers to people exercising their right to vote. And so we signed that MOU, and we came out of the October 10 elections, and I realized that no, it doesn't stop here. This is not about these parties, it's about these people. And so what we decided, Robert Morris and myself, along with others, we decided we want to continue to engage in this, and we didn't want to get engaged in the issue of endorsing or not endorsing, who you're endorsing. This is not about who you're endorsing, and I'm not going to be neutral either. I'm not neutral. I'm participating in the elections. I'm participating not by endorsing one side or the other, but by endorsing Liberian people to say there's a side here that we haven't looked at. There's a side here that people who don't want to vote. There are people who have voter apathy. There are people who feel that their votes weren't counted. We have over 100,000 invalid votes. Everybody needs to participate in our elections. And so my position is not to remain neutral and sit on the sideline. My position is to participate and make sure the Liberian people vote that they want Joseph Walker and President Weah to go to the polls on November 14th. That's what the Liberian people want. And we need to support the Liberian people to make sure that they continue this process the same peaceful way, but that they have more education. Voter education was a big major gap. Many people didn't have voter education. And Protect LIB votes is not only just about watching. No, it's not. It's primarily about making sure people know all that's required for them to ensure that their votes are counted.
Now, Mr. Robert Frank Morris, why are you involved with this? Because you seem to be, highly concentrated on making sure that the votes of our people are protected. Why are you involved in this?
I'm involved with this because if the votes of our people are not protected, then the entire electoral process is meaningless. We talk about invalid votes. We talk about all of these different things that form a part of our electoral process. Now, the question a lot of times that's brought up by the courts whenever elections have to go to court is, and that's not just in Liberia, anywhere else, they ask the question is, the evidence that people bring, would that evidence, even if it was legitimate, say somebody cheated, even if it was legitimate, would that evidence, would the amount of those votes be significant enough to overturn or to change the results? And if it's not, then the court will say, look, yes, we will just find ways, the election commission to go and correct that, but it can't change the election, so we're not going to stop it. We're saying that we need to make sure that with education, with vigilance, with a lot of additional input, that the number we reduce, for instance, if you have over 100,000, even 50,000 invalid votes, that can change an election, correct? So if you take 8,000, 10,000 people from a particular district in Montserrado County or in Margibi County and take them to Bond County to vote, and then in the second round, as we're about to have now, they are unable to vote, you have a gap of 10,000 votes. Can that overturn an election? 20,000, 30,000, 100,000? Yes, these are the things that we're talking about. And we're not talking about it just for this election. Like my Sarah Bessa Yanti is saying, we're institutionalizing this. This is not about just November 14th. We're going to have by-elections undoubtedly. We're also going to have midterm elections. We're going to have additional general elections. What we're doing now, what is starting now, is going to be institutionalized whether NEC educates voters or not, and that's why we have all these civil society actors here with us. We're going on the grassroots level that the people themselves must educate themselves, must know that nobody comes and will tell Sobor George, leave from here and I carry you Babolu to go and vote, and then when second round comes, you can't do that. You understand the importance of not allowing anyone to abuse your rights, because that's what they're doing. They're abusing your rights and take you somewhere else and deprive you of voting and deprive that county or that district of the real thing, because a lot of people who are then elected are not the will of the people. If you elect somebody because you truck people, it's not the will of the people. If you elect somebody because you bought people voter ID cards and suppress the vote, is not the will of the people. That's why we're here.
Now, you both seem to be sounding as if our people are bereft of that sense of nationalism. They may not understand. They don't know basically what they are doing. They're not educated to that extent. That's the way I tend to understand what you both are trying to profit here.
Yeah, pretty much. Even I myself who's sitting here, I wasn't fully aware of all of these things. It's just that I've been involved in so many elections. I've been involved in elections in Liberia since 2005. So each additional election, I learned different things. But you will not believe it. There are people who, even at the polling station, if they see, unusual activities going on, do you know that there are people that do not even know that you can report that or who to report it to? Something as simple as that. So it's an educational process, and that's why even the NEC does voter education. A large part of what we're doing is voter education, and we want to make it pretty much a standard.
Okay.
Because people are not, especially in a country like Liberia, where you have a lot of people that are not read and write literate. And I say read and write literate because there's a lot of people who are literate but not in the read and write form. So all the way from Nido went to Logato, from Bo to Plibo, we want to make sure that we crisscross this country, and everybody, as many people as possible, should be fully informed of the voting process and what it takes.
Let me get to the few civil society actors also to hear from them. Let me hear from you. What are you also involved? What sort of importance have you attached to this for which your presence is here today?
So, thank you so much, Sobor. The importance attached today to this movement is, from the civil society angle, is the fact that when elections are here, people render consent to popular government, for the existence of popular government. This consent must be credibly earned. It must not come
let it always be a democrat-free republic.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Let's hear from you. You are a businessman, right?
Yes.
Okay. Taking time off your business schedule, you should be in the market selling. What are you so involved?
I think when it comes to Liberia, Liberia is first of all my business, because if this country is not selling well, then there is no business for me.
Surely.
I got involved with this process basically because of two reasons. When I was called upon by Madam Yanti, she spoke two words that stuck in my ear. She says about the process and the people. So that gave me the anxiety and zest to be a part of the process. We understand that when the will of the people are not reflected in the leader that they are not obligated to the people.
Okay.
So in return, people do not receive those necessary things that they're supposed to do for them. And the trickle down effect is on the common people, like those that are selling in the street or those that are in the ghetto, because these are the less fortunate people. Take them to be nobody. So we see as a means that we join this particular revolution, and we transmit the message in the most possible means. We are taking it from street to street, from house to house, from ghetto to ghetto. Every slum community, even marketplace, will be going there to educate the people. Gradually, we believe that they will grab it.
Okay. Let's hear you also.
I'm Francis Robert, member of CEO. Yeah, a part and parcel of the team will protect your vote, because protecting your vote is not a political issue; it's everybody's business. Yes. When my chairman called me saying we have the main concerning protecting your vote, when I listened to Madam Yanti, it makes sense, because as self-approved, I saw many irregularities at the precinct bureau. So, even yesterday, I and my friend were only free to talk to people how to protect your vote. Because to the precinct area last time, we went there, we see many things that were going on was not well. So even my friends that just into me, so how are you going to do the protecting your vote? So I tried getting how to protect your vote, and then to see how we're going to move forward. Thank you.
Now, because the thing is, and let me come to Madam Sarah Besler Yanti, also a reverend, a woman of God. I know she'll pray for us before we leave the studio. Okay, Sarah, the thing is, people listening, and you are saying protect LRB votes. What is actually the message? How do you want them to do this?
So there are three aspects to protect LRB votes. One is the advocacy part of it, what we are doing now, getting messages out and so forth. The second part of it is capacity building, or giving people increased knowledge about processes and so forth. The third part of it is poll watching.
Okay.
So there are three dimensions to it. Now for November 14th, we do not think we have enough time to actually get into the poll watching, because the accreditation that's required from the process and so forth, the time is short for us to get that done. However, if we start the way we're starting now, not say if, but as we're starting now with the advocacy, our intent is to make sure we work on the capacity building as well. And we already started that with animations. We started to create the messages to get out there through social media and others around some of the key things that people need to know, how their votes are not protected. Basically, when they get in the line, people telling them, vote this other way. You go there with a mind to vote for somebody, somebody telling you to vote for somebody else, somebody intimidating you in the line, somebody harassing you and so forth, somebody trying to buy your card from you, take your card from you, give you money for your car. All those things, we're doing messaging, around that to make sure people know, because that's part of protecting your vote also. Voting for who you want to vote for without intimidation, and then knowing what to do at the polling station if somebody is intimidating you and so forth. We're doing messaging around that, and we hope to get that up on social media. We want to raise funds. If we get funds, we'll get to the communities and to community movement. We'd like to have volunteers.
Community engagement.
Yes, we'd like to have volunteers for Protect LRB votes who are willing to go to the precincts near them to be able to educate people right outside, and to be able to mitigate against any intimidation and so forth. But ultimately, one thing we shouldn't forget, this is about the issue of peace. This is about ensuring that when we're done with this process, all of us will accept the results, and we will move forward. We'll move forward as one people We need to make sure that we have a peaceful process. We need to make sure that we all own the results, and nobody should feel as though they were left out or their votes were not counted. And that's what this is about. Elections integrity has key elements. For us to have, say this election, the integrity was high. It means that it was competitive. It means that it was transparent. It means that it was inclusive, and there was accountability, accountability mechanisms and systems in place for people to address their issues, for elections to have high integrity. And then, of course, you see elections integrity, there's degrees, right? Degrees of integrity. We want to continue to improve our elections integrity in Liberia. We want to make sure we increase the transparency, increase the competitiveness, increase the inclusion. We have geographical exclusion. Some people can't even get to exercise their vote. That means their vote isn't protected. So protect the vote is not about a party, it's about a people, and how we as Liberians strengthen our democracy. The stronger we are in our democracy, the safer Liberia will be, the more peaceful Liberia will be, and the more we have development. You can have sustainable development without sustainable peace. So if you want to be a volunteer, please email us at protectlibvotes@gmail.com, protectlibvotes@gmail.com, or call 0775 531 092, 0775 531 092. We're working on the database now to look at who's where. We got a lot of volunteers coming in to look at who is where, who can go to which precincts, what they're willing to do. And if you want to donate funds to us, please call us and donate, because we need to get, boots in the mud. We need to get people out there. And this is about all of us. This is not about party. Liberian people have decided they want either President Weah or Ambassador Joseph Nima Boyka. And we are saying we want to participate. We're not being neutral. We're being participants in this political process to ensure that who the Liberian people want between the two Liberian people will get. We support the Liberian people to have their choice, and we should all recognize the fact that this is what Liberians want. Almost 50% voted for Ambassador Weah. Almost 50% voted for, almost 45% voted for Ambassador Weah, and President Weah. Almost 45% voted for Ambassador Numa Boyka, Joseph Numa Boyka. What does that mean? It means that almost 90% of the people want one of these persons, one of these personalities in our politics. And if that's what the Liberian people want, Liberian people should get what they want. Elections by Liberian people getting what they want. That was imposed on them. And we want to make sure every Liberian participates and every Liberian feels as though when they cast their vote will be counted. That's what this is about. Okay. And we need to accept that and participate and move forward. So for all those who have voter apathy, those who say they will not vote and so forth, please come out and vote. Please participate. And for those who truck people to different places only because they are selfish gain of wanting to be represented or senator, the people need to go back to vote for their president. The election's still on, it's not over. So please truck the people right back to where you trucked them to before and let them vote. And as you truck them, give them water and food and so, because the inhumane conditions under which people are being trucked is so terrible. And this is something we want to work on. We need to start this trucking business. Besides it being inhumane, it's risky. People's lives are at risk. I saw people being trucked on October 8th. I was coming from Banga, coming down to my river. The trucks that were passing by me, they're hurting animals. It's so wrong. It's so unfair. Trafficking people across the country to go and vote just for your voting, it's wrong. And again, then their will, their intent for leadership, they can't express it. They can't vote in this round too. You're taking the right away from them to vote. So Protect LIB Vote is all encompassing. All these issues are being addressed. So please participate. All of us as Liberians, let's participate. And when the results come out, let all of us own the results and move Liberia forward in peace.
Mr. Robert Frank Maurice, some observers or maybe critics of your movement maybe thinking that you do have some, your whole movement has some political undertone. Maybe you may be telling your foot soldiers or your agents on the field that, look, when you get to the field, tell our people vote for candidate B or vote for candidate Y, and not looking at how they protect let me come back to you, Madam Bessel Ianti. The issue of politicians, in fact, they've been touting this whole idea of vote, tribally, and vote tribal over development, and some have been saying vote development over tribal or tradition or whatever it is. Are you also, going to educate your people, asking them as to how do they do away with the ideology that people trying to tout, or are you just going to tell them, no, focus on Liberia?
I think the question for me is so important because it's one that I addressed throughout my campaign. And one of the things I said continually, which I will continue to say, is that we must unite as Liberians. We must unite, we must reconcile, we must heal. If Liberia must be the country it was birthed to be. And tribalism is not needed, and it should be rejected in our nation building processes. I won't say in our politics, in everything it should be rejected. Even in the church, it has crept in. In the church, you go to church meetings where people tell you, say, some people Congo, some people this, and so forth and so on. We have been divided for so long, and we only 5 million people. When you subdivide us again, how many will we be? Seriously. We need to get over ourselves and really work together to come together as a country, because we will not transform Liberia if we don't transform our minds, if we don't transform our mindsets. We need to work together as a people. Look at people's gifts and their talents. Look at people's capacity, their experiences. Look at people, what they can contribute to nation building, what they can contribute to transforming the country. And that should be the basis upon which we move forward. Because somebody can be from your tribe and they're here empty. What will it do for you? So you can have all your tribal people there, but they can't move you forward. Are you interested in tomorrow? If you're interested in tomorrow, Liberia's future, you should look about who can do what, who can do it best. And that's what it should be about. Nobody is saying that people shouldn't love who they are. We should all, in fact, our diversity is our strength. We should appreciate our diversity in religion, our diversity in ethnicity, our diversity in culture, in terms of the different cultural practices, different tribes and so forth, our languages. We should appreciate it. We should actually have museums that continue to hold, our history sacred and make sure our history is correct and all of that. But to move this country forward, we have to move it together as a people. And that's why Protect LIB Votes for me is so important, because it's not about a party. It's not about, one group of people. It's about the people called Liberians. It's for all of us as Liberians. It's important for us to realize that even in your district, if you want your district to be transformed, it means you must vote in your district for the person who will be working in your district for the next years. Because you from one tribe, you go to your county and go and vote there. It has no bearing on what will happen in your life in the next 6 years in your district. So all these things, we need to be educating our people to understand the implications of what they're doing. It's easy to take $5 today or $10 today. Easy. Who will feed your children tomorrow? Why the systems being put in place to feed your children tomorrow? That's what it should be about. Our democracy, and many of our people don't understand our democracy is our gateway to development. Our elections are our gateway to development. What will happen in my district, in my county, and in my country, my vote, that's what it's about. And so protecting your vote is your right, and making sure that you hold it sacred. It's your human right. Nobody should take it from you. Nobody should take your card. Nobody should take your voting number. Look, when I was campaigning, somebody came to me with a stack of cards. I couldn't understand when they came to me. Then they said, because they came to me for help before, I didn't get any help. So they thought if they brought some cards to me, then I would give them what they asked me for. I asked them, why would do the card? They said, well, your friend ain't collecting it. I said, well, my friend ain't collecting. I got no friend ain't collecting it. If the person, my friend, don't collecting people's rights from them. This is your right. This card is so precious. It's your right to vote. It's your right to decide what happens in this country for the next years. You can't give it to somebody. Somebody should buy it from you. I gave the woman the cards back. I said, the people took these cards from, take it back to these people. But at the end of the day, people doing that, it goes with impunity. People trucking, it goes with impunity. Nobody looking at it. It has to stop. If we want to transform Liberia, it starts with our processes like these, making sure that Liberians know the value of their vote, and making sure every Liberian participates in our elections, so that when at the end of the day, you have participated, you have voted, the votes are counted, we all accept the votes in peace. We move out in peace and move Liberia forward.
Now, Mr. Robert Frank Morris, let me ask also almost the same question that I asked Sarah. Over the past, in fact, months, prior even to the October 10, we've been hearing about the issue of wardrobe. Some politicians have been saying that, if the voters didn't vote in their interest, the country could likely slip back into the war situation we had before. are your agents also who are you going to put to the field? Are they also going to disabuse the bounds of our people?
Definitely. This entire process, Mr. George, is about that. Because when people feel that one, they've had the opportunity to vote, even though some people are not going to have that opportunity to vote because it's been taken away from them by people who truck them. But when the majority of the people feel that they had the opportunity to vote, when the majority of the people feel that those votes that they voted are counted as they voted, what that does is increases the likelihood for people to accept the results in good faith. So what we are talking about here, what we are doing is going to mitigate, is going to reduce the likelihood of any war drums, and all the warmongers will be put at bay. But if this is not done, if this sort of education, if this sort of enlightenment, this sort of sensitization is not carried out across the board, then of course people may feel disenfranchised. We know that there are people who felt disenfranchised. We know that there are people who have been disenfranchised in so many different ways by people trucking, and we act as though, like we're a country that less secret. We act like they're secret. They think they're being broad daylight. We are like, we're not seeing it. They say, oh, well, that's about your friend. So, let him, man. Oh, that they're not person friend. No, that thing must stop. Let's be crystal clear. There must be a line drawn, and these are the things that should happen. And this process is not just going to end with people voting and receiving the appropriate vote. It's going to go into people learning how to hold their elected officials accountable. You have an entire country where you ask the 73 districts in the country, nobody has ever asked the legislators for a report or to know what they're doing. They don't even visit their people after they're elected. We are going to ensure that you hold their feet to the fire and you learn the process of voting and the process of holding people accountable. What are they there for and what they should be doing?
Okay, so let's ask the civil society actors before we can open the lines quickly. Dr. Elliott, let's begin with you. If you were to go in the field, because there has been this whole, some of our politicians been touting this about war, coming to the country. If people didn't vote in their interest, they've been beating war drum, and some of them been talking about violence and all of that. If you were to send your point of view, how do you educate them so that our people don't get frightened and they don't show up to vote?
Vote your choice is your right. Do not allow yourself to vote wrongly under intimidation. There's going to be no war by any politician if you vote right. Once you know you're doing the right thing, do it that way. Do not be coerced.
Okay.
There's going to be no war.
Good. Princess, you have a lot of followers. How do you educate them when you get in the field tomorrow?
First of all, we start by letting them know, like the race, all we have 1, 2. We don't want to go back into that dark parts where people running here and there, God forbid. But so vote, protect LRB, vote. We'll get a lot of education to the people that, like the race, all we have 1, 2. So vote correctly, vote for who you want, and let it be transparent as well, so it won't cause any other
disturbance
for the people.
Chuchu, how do you educate our people when you get in the field?
We'll be moving into the trenches, urban corners of Liberia, educating our brothers and sisters, telling the essence of voting. And those that feel reluctant, like, I'm tired, there's no reason I should go and vote because when I vote, I feel nothing from the government. We'll tell them that minus a one vote, it could cost the president that you don't want him to win.
Okay.
So we'll also be encouraging people to go and vote, those that are reluctant. And we'll be educating them that do not be coerced, do not act under duress. If you see anything wrong in that particular police station, you as an electorate, you have the right to lodge complaint in a necessary manner.
Okay. Yes. Let's hear from you. Also.
I'm Francis George again, member of CEO. Yeah. I started a few words on yesterday, telling people how to protect your vote, LRB vote in the sense that, because, like example, you go to pool area, you see your somebody you on the line, you say, oh man, I'm going to vote for them, man. You say, no, the person still hammering you, you call the police man, people embarrassing me because I came out of my house, I know how I can, who I'm going to vote for. But then man, I vote, so is a person. Well, I must say, I see that thing before, it's not strange to me. So yesterday, I've been on a fee with 2 of my friends and I tried talking to them, but in a week, or next week, I think we'll get the flyers telling people how to protect the vote.
Okay.
Not by saying it by more, but at least telling how to protect the vote. So thank you.
Okay, so shortly I open the lines, but let me ask you two former presidential candidates before I open the lines. This is a very good initiative, basically for our country and talking about the future of the country as well. But let me put it this way. I know that question will likely come out of a caller, but let me jumpstart it. Like you said earlier, Madam Sarah Beslo Yanti, you're not going to be neutral. You have your own candidates that you'll be voting for. Likewise, Mr. Robert Frank Morris, you're not going to be neutral. Let me ask as to why are you, the both of you, are not endorsing any of the candidates. Rather, you are on a campaign for LRB vote protection.
So let me clarify what I said earlier. What I said earlier is not that I didn't say anything about I'm not being neutral because I have a side. No, I said I am not neutral because what I'm doing is fully participating in this process.
Okay.
I said I am participating in this political process not from one side or the other of the two who are vying for the presidency at this stage, but from the side of the Liberian people to make sure that when they go to vote for either one of them, that they are fully empowered to be able to vote in a way where the vote won't be invalid, where they will not feel intimidated, and where they will not feel cheated or in the process.
Okay.
So that's why I mean by I'm not neutral. I'm not neutral because I'm participating. If neutrality means you sit down in your house and you say I'm not getting involved in this political season, I'm not taking any role and so forth. I've taken a role, and that role is not a neutral role. That role is a role that is very clearly for Liberian people. And I feel that as Liberians, we need to be patriotic. We need to be involved. Some people listen to me right now. I know they say, but you'll stay long inside. It's already talking here. So what will change? You have people who have that viewpoint. What will change? What's big? What's big? They see LIB, but it has to start from somewhere. When I started talking about protect the votes in July, it was something that was never heard of in our politics before. But when you have somebody like myself who has reached the level of UN Assistant Secretary General, being the head of the UN in different countries, being responsible for mobilizing international support, international community for supporting countries for elections. When you've been part of the Gambian election and you've been part of the processes that led to the handover of power between Jammeh and Barrow, when you have those experiences and you come into a political process in your own country and you say, let's do something called protect the vote, then there's something inside. I'm crazy. It's because it's required. It's required, and it's required in least developed countries like ours. We can't just sit and say next one do everything. All of us have to participate. And so for me, not being neutral means I participate fully and I play a role that is supportive to everybody. I don't have to choose one side over the other. So what I'm doing supports we are in worker. What I'm doing is in the interest of Liberian people, and all of us have to move this country forward. Please call 0775-531-092 if you want to be a volunteer for Protect LIB Votes, or email protectlibvotes@gmail.com.
Frank, let's hear from you also.
So, I'm definitely not neutral. I've never been neutral in my life. I'm not one of those who have a difficulty in making and taking decisions. Look, the truth of the matter is, my endorsement has been the most important endorsement, just like Honorable Sarah Beslo Yanti. What we have decided to do, we have decided to endorse the people of Liberia. Everybody else, all of the other candidates that endorsed one side or the other, that's their rights. They justify. That's the prerogative. But we have decided that we must endorse the people who thinking about everybody, who thinking about the everyday people, who's asking the questions about the things that we are talking about now. People being trucked, people being influenced to sell their cars or take pictures of their cars, or who's talking for those people? That's what we have elected.
So you've endorsed the people.
We have endorsed the people of the Republic of Liberia.
Before I open the lines, let me switch off the microphone small and ask the both of you quickly in a secret form, who are you voting for, Sarah?
Like what we here for? Yeah, big Sobor George.
You will not be. I like that. Let me open the lines quickly. 0776540987, or better still 0880514096. That's the numbers to call, and you are live on this SMS this morning. Again, 0776540987. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Okay, since this call is not ready, let's take this call on this line. Hello? Good morning. Yes, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Hello.
Yes, go right ahead.
I want to say thank you for
Hello. Hello. We can keep this call on the line 0776540987, or better still 0880514096. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir. Let's hear from you quickly.
Good morning, Sobor, and good morning to the culture man in Liberia. My name is Ibrahim Political, but they settle and I call for the most talk about the having this morning. Let me appreciate the still guest. I think they spoke very lengthily. The issue of protecting your vote is very much important. Right information at the right time is up to the public. I think majority of people have been abused to voting rights, but for voter awareness and education from them, it will help also bring hope to we the electorate from one district to another, because there are people who left that district to go vote in another district to bring embarrassment. So based on that, majority of our law, because when they are elected, they say that money made them win. But with the education coming from them, I think it will bring hope to the voter population in showing that they can protect their own vote. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, many thanks. 0776540987, or better still 0880514096. Let's take this call up quickly. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Let's hear from you.
Yeah, this is Patrick calling from my Barclay.
Okay.
I want to say thank you to you and your studio guests. My attention have been to the talking. How can we stop talking? This question is going to the studio guests. How can we stop talking when you got people that work in the various counties, working somewhere, they're working on Monserrato, they leave and go back home to go and talk, and people who willingly or leave from here and go to various counties or districts to go and register and vote. So how do you reconcile that? I want you how to speak to it.
Okay, they will speak. Let's take this call. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, good morning. Good morning. Okay, this caller is off. Let's go to the line to take this caller. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Yeah, this is Mo Adam, and I call from the GSA Road community. I want to say thank you to your studio guests for the step they are taking, and I think it's a good step to try for us to tell us to protect our vote. Not everyone knows how to protect their vote well, and I think it's a good initiative. The only problem I have is that they were able to convince people to go in the community to tell people to vote for them.
Okay.
But they cannot tell us at this time of the roundup who are they voting for. I think I just want to say I think it's good that Lebron put no yes. Thank you so much.
Okay, many thanks. I think one more call and then we'll wrap it up quickly. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Oh, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm okay. Quickly. Let's hear from you.
Okay, I want to say my greeting to the people in studio there. They spoke, but the presidential experiment that somebody carry a lot of a car to them. I mean to her and they carry a car to the people. And we are trying to say that we don't want people to be doing no kind of a thing. I think at that time Instead of you telling the lady to carry that, she should have still call the police and make sure that lady what did that thing she did wrong. Secondly, our people that are going on the field, I can remember two different people from two different parties came here and they almost jumped into a fight. And I told them, look, my man, you want to carry my woman, you want to carry my son. It does not require prejudice. Jumping make peace upon yourself. And right there, they made peace and they decide to leave.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Many thanks. We are not taking additional calls. Madam Sarah Besri Yanti and Mr. Frank Morris, how do you respond? And then we get, we call it a quit.
So the question was, why can't we publicly take a side? I can't publicly take a side for one of the two, because I'm publicly taking a side already for one of the three. There are three sides in this runoff election. There's the people, there's candidate 1 and candidate 2, and I've taken the side publicly of the people. There is a side called the people, and that's the side I've taken. And so it's my right, by the way, to choose that side. Just like you would choose one of the other two, I've chosen one of the three. I've chosen the side of the people. It's my right to do that.
Okay.
There's nothing that says that I cannot choose that side. And that's the beauty of our human rights. And we need to respect people's rights to be able to choose the side they want to choose. And you know what? For too long, we've chosen only sides of politicians. For too long, we've only looked at the politician's perspective. When do we start to change the narrative in this country and look at the side of the people? And that's part of the problem we will not develop today, because we continue to look at things from the wrong perspective. And we need to start. When we start to look at things from the perspective of the voters, of the people whose rights that need to be fulfilled and so forth, we'll do things differently.
Okay.
We're doing this differently because we're looking at it from the standpoint of the people. And then on the issue of how do we prevent trucking, from my perspective, is education. I don't think people even understand. Many people don't understand what the implication of that trucking means when they're going. You know, they may like somebody, the person says, can't go support me in my place, but they don't know what it means in terms of disadvantaging them where they live. So we need to do more education. I'm sure when people understand, they'll make better choices. Information, knowledge is power. When people have knowledge, they'll make better decisions.
Okay. Mr. Frank Morris?
Well, as far as trucking, what we're talking about, when we say trucking, we're not talking about if, say, I'm from Margibi County and I'm working in, let's say, Bapolu, and then when it's time to vote, I decide to come back and register on my own. Okay, that's not what we're talking about when we say trucking. When we say trucking, we're talking about where people come and they pay people to gather a whole bunch of people that don't even know the candidate, have never seen him or her, and they put them in trucks and vehicles and send them to another county, another district to go and vote. That's what we're talking about. How do you prevent that? There's so many different ways. That's part of what we're going to be going through. First of all, if you are in a community where your precinct is located and you see a vehicle, a truck, or bus, or whatever, come with a whole bunch of strange people that are not from in that district, that are not from in the community, you can start to raise the alarm then and there.
Okay.
That's some of the education that we're talking about. Okay. And also to the people, to educate them to not be disenfranchised, because when you truck people, you disenfranchise them.
Okay.
Why we not taking a side? You know, echo what Honorable Senator Yanti said. We have taken the side of the people for not giving up. We took it for free. We took the most difficult side for the people to be able to ensure that we make strides towards ensuring that these elections are peaceful and that the results are accepted by the majority of the people. So after the results, there's peace. That's the side we've taken. That we ain't take side. No, we took a side. We took a side for the people for free.
Okay. Doc, quickly, your parting comment.
So it was a great time with you. I hope we've made some impact today, especially using your medium to speak to people across the country. We hope the message for our request of volunteers coming on board was heard. We also hope that sincere Liberians, generous Liberian philanthropy out there will see the need to provide funding for this initiative, which is very important if we must achieve all the very meaningful goal that we intend to achieve for our country.
Okay. Princess.
We want to say once again, thank you so much. God richly bless you. And yeah, so that's the message. Protect LIB vote. We're taking it to another level.
I like the voice.
Thank you, sir.
Chuchu.
I want to say thank you for allowing us this time to share this platform with you. And to my folks on the street, in the ghetto, I want to say shine your eyes, be wise, protect LRB vote.
Okay. Joplin?
I want to thank you for allowing me in the studio. At least you get the message out for people who hear what happened concerning protect LRB vote. Thank you.
Madam Sarah Besso Yanti, any parting comments so that we can go quickly?
Yes, my parting comment is firstly to thank you for the platform, to ask you to please commit to be a part of Protect LIB Votes. And by doing so, particularly we're asking you for LNTV to air the animation that we have. We have one of the animations ready already. We can put it on LNTV if you do that. Your contribution to educating the population.
Just send it to our WhatsApp. We'll make sure.
Thank you. And then also, again, to just say, people, please volunteer. And look, don't think that the elections on November 14th is about two sides. It's about three sides. It's about the people, what the people want, and the two people that are vying for that. And we want to ensure that we participate in this to make sure that when people make their choice, they make it free, without intimidation, without harassment, and that their vote will be counted. It won't be an invalid vote.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so that's just how we go home on this presentation of the Super Money Show. Join us that's tomorrow. I'll be back. Thanks to my indie father cable, producer of the man, Taka Gologio, Damawa Fufara has been on camera. Sobor George is my name. There's no second